Well, well, well. Mr. Fluffy Poodle, we're back. You ready? We gotta get that haircut. That's right, we gotta get the haircut. We're gonna have you guys just sit back, relax, watch us, see us how we cut Mr. Fluffy Poodle's hair. Listen to some motivational things. I mean, stuff like this is excellent. Stuff like this is good. I already started a little bit on his hair. I'm actually going to cut it. Excuse me. Excuse me. So I'm actually going to cut Mr. Fluffy Poodle's hair just like a standard poodle haircut, the continental cut. That's how I'm going to cut it today. I know, I'm tired too this morning. He's like, hey, let's go and do it. I already started a little bit on the back quarter end of Mr. Fluffy. And we're just going to go from there. So follow along, guys. Today's speech is Admiral William McRaven. Awesome speech.
It's been almost 37 years to the day that I graduated from UT. I remember a lot of things about that day.
Stay.
I remember I had a throbbing headache at a party the night before. I remember I had a serious girlfriend who I later married. That's important to remember, by the way. And I remember I was getting commissioned in the Navy that day. But of all the things I remember, I don't have a clue who the commencement speaker was, and I certainly don't remember anything they said. So acknowledging that fact, if I can't make this commencement speech memorable, I will at least try to make it short. So the university's slogan is, what starts here changes the world. Well, I've got to admit, I kind of like it. What starts here changes the world. Tonight there are almost 8,000 students, or there are more than 8,000 students, graduated from UT. So that great paragon of analytical rigor, Ask.com, says that the average American will meet 10,000 people in their lifetime. 10,000 people, that's a lot of folks. But if every one of you changed the lives of just 10 people, and each one of those people changed the lives of another 10 people, and another 10,
Bluetooth pairing.
then in
Bluetooth connected.
2014, will have changed the lives of 800.
Is your roof over 7 years old?
Oh, really? I don't want a commercial. I just wanted to turn it up. How do I go back?
On your home.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I remember I had a serious girlfriend who I later married.
How do you
That's important to remember, by the way.
volume?
And I remember I was getting.
In the last special that I did a bunch of references.
Thank you very much.
All right.
That day. But of all the things I remember, I don't have a clue who the commencement speaker was, and I certainly don't remember anything they said.
There we go. Now
So
we fixed
acknowledging
it.
that fact,
Let's
if I
knock
can't
this
make
out.
this commencement speech memorable, I will at least try to make it short. So the university's slogan is, what starts here changes the world. Well, I've got to admit, I kind of like it. What starts here changes the world. Tonight there are almost 8,000 students, or there are more than 8,000 students, graduated from UT. So that great paragon of analytical rigor, Ask.com, says that the average American will meet 10,000 people in their lifetime. 10,000 people, that's a lot of folks.
Oh, I forgot to do the
But
balls
if
up
every
here,
one
but
of
it's
you
okay.
changed the lives of just 10 people, and each one of those people changed the lives of another 10 people, and another 10, then in 5 generations, 125 years, the class of 2014 will have changed the lives of 800 million people. 800 million people. Think about it. Over twice the population of the United States. Go one more generation, and you can change the entire population of the world. 8 billion people.
Yep.
If you think it's hard to change the lives of 10 people, change their lives forever, you're wrong.
That's
I saw
right.
it happen every day in Iraq and Afghanistan. A
Amen.
young Army officer makes a decision to go left instead of right down a road in Baghdad, and the 10 soldiers with him are saved from a close-in ambush. In Kandahar province, Afghanistan, a non-commissioned officer from the female engagement team senses that something isn't right and directs the infantry platoon away from a 500-pound IED, saving the lives of a dozen soldiers. But if you think about it, not only were those soldiers saved by the decisions of one person, but their children were saved, and their children's children. Generations were saved by one decision, one person. But changing the world can happen anywhere, and anyone can do it.
Yep,
So
that's
what
right.
starts here can indeed change the world. But the question is, what will the world look like after you change it? Well, I'm confident that it will look much, much better. But if you'll humor this old sailor for just a moment, I have a few suggestions that may help you on your way to a better world. And while these lessons were learned during my time in the military, I can assure you that it matters not whether you ever served a day in uniform.
That's right.
It matters not your gender, your ethnic or religious background, your orientation, or your social status. Our struggles in this world are similar.
That's
and the
right.
lessons to overcome those struggles and to move forward, changing ourselves and changing the world around us, will apply equally to all.
Amen.
I've been a Navy SEAL for 36 years, but it all began when I left UT for basic SEAL
I
training
love
in Coronado,
motivation stuff
California.
like this.
Basic SEAL training is 6 months
Yep.
of long, torturous runs in the soft sand, midnight swims in the cold water off San Diego, obstacle courses, unending calisthenics, days without sleep, and always
Something
being
I
cold,
dreamed
wet,
of.
and miserable. It is 6 months of being constantly harassed by professionally trained warriors who seek to find the weak of mind and body and eliminate them from ever becoming a Navy SEAL. But the training also seeks to find those students who can lead in an environment of constant stress, chaos, failure, and hardships. To me, basic SEAL training was a lifetime of challenges crammed into 6 months. So here are the 10 lessons I learned from basic SEAL training that hopefully will be of value to you as you move forward in life. Every morning in SEAL training, my instructors, who at the time were all Vietnam veterans, would show up in my barracks room, and the first thing they'd do was inspect my bed. If you did it right, the corners would be square, the covers would be pulled tight, the pillow centered just under the headboard.
That's why I make my bed
and
every
the extra
morning.
blanket folded neatly at the foot of the rack. It was a simple task, mundane at best, but every morning we were required to make our bed to perfection. It seemed a little ridiculous at the time, particularly in light of the fact that we were aspiring to be real warriors, tough, battle-hardened SEALs. But the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times over. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day.
Accomplish the
It
first
will give
task
you a
of the
small
day.
sense of pride.
That's
It will
right.
encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right.
That's right. You can't do
And
the
if by
little
chance you
things
have a
right. You
miserable
can't do the
day,
big things right.
You will come home to a bed that is made.
Starts
That you
on the
made.
little things. Starts on everything.
And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. So if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed.
Change the world. Make your bed.
During SEAL training, the students
Great analogy.
During training, the students are all broken down into boat crews. Each crew is 7 students, 3 on each side of a small rubber boat, and 1 coxswain to help guide the dinghy. Every day, your boat crew forms up on the beach and is instructed to get through the surf zone and paddle several miles down the coast. In the winter, the surf off San Diego can get to be 8 to 10 feet high, and it is exceedingly difficult to paddle through the plunging surf unless everyone digs in. Every paddle must be synchronized to the stroke count of the coxswain. Everyone must exert equal effort, or the boat will turn against the wave and be unceremoniously dumped back on the beach. For the boat to make it to its destination, everyone must paddle. You can't change the world alone. You will need some help.
Yep.
And to truly get from your starting point to your destination takes friends, colleagues,
Can't change the world
the
alone,
goodwill
ladies
of
and gentlemen.
strangers,
You
and a
can't.
strong coxswain to guide you. If you want to change the world, find someone to help you paddle.
Stay.
Over a few weeks of difficult training, my SEAL class, which started with 150 men, was down to just 42. There were now 6 boat crews of 7 men each. I was in the boat with the tall guys, but the best boat crew we had was made up of the little guys, the Munchkin crew, we called them. No one was over 5'5". The Munchkin boat crew had one American Indian, one African American, one Polish American, one Greek American, one Italian American, and 2 tough kids from the Midwest. They out-paddled, outran, and outswam all the other boat crews. The big men in the other boat crews would always make good-natured fun of the tiny little flippers the Munchkins put on their tiny little feet.
Oh, not on
prior to
YouTube. I
every
just need it
swim.
on the internet. It's okay.
But somehow these little guys from every corner of the nation and the world always had the last laugh, swimming faster than everyone and reaching the shore long before the rest of us. SEAL training was a great equalizer. Nothing mattered but your will to succeed, not your color, not your ethnic background, not your education, not your social status. If you want to change the world, measure a person by the size of their heart.
I was trying to see exactly how to do this cut. I don't want to mess it
Several times a
up.
week, the
So I
instructors would
guess
line
I
up the
keep
class
the
and
hair
do a
long
uniform
right
inspection.
here. On the
It
legs?
was exceptionally thorough. Your hat had to be perfectly starched, your uniform
Yep.
immaculately pressed, your belt buckle shiny and void of any
All right, that's
smudges.
what we're doing.
But it seemed
Continental
that no
cut.
matter how much effort you put into starching your hat or pressing your uniform or polishing your belt buckle, it just wasn't good enough.
Stay.
The instructors would find something wrong.
Stay.
For failing uniform inspection, the student had to run, fully clothed, into the surf zone. Then wet from head to toe, roll around on the beach until every part of your body was covered with sand. The effect was known as sugar cookie.
Good boy.
You stayed in the uniform the rest of the day, cold, wet, and sandy. There were many a student who just couldn't accept the fact that all their efforts were in vain, that no matter how hard they tried to get the uniform right, it went unappreciated. Those students didn't make it through training. Those students didn't understand the purpose of the drill. You were never going to succeed. You were never going to have a perfect uniform. The instructors weren't going to allow it.
See, most people
Sometimes,
don't
no
understand
matter
the
how well you
concept of
prepare,
things and the
Or how
reasoning.
well you perform, you still end up as a sugar cookie.
That's right. You'll still
It's
end
just
up
the
as
way
a
life
sugar
is
cookie.
sometimes. If you want to change the world, get over being a sugar cookie and keep moving forward.
Every
Every day
I
during
love
training, you were challenged with multiple physical events: long runs, long swims, obstacle courses, hours of calisthenics, something designed to test your mettle. Every event had standards, times you had to meet. If you failed to meet those times, those standards, your name was posted on a list, and at the end of the day, those on the list were invited to a circus. A circus was 2 hours of additional calisthenics, designed to wear you down, to break your spirit, to force you to quit. No one wanted a circus. A circus meant that for that day, you didn't measure up. A circus meant more fatigue, and more fatigue meant that the following day would be more difficult, and more circuses were likely. But at some time during SEAL training, everyone made the circus list. But an interesting thing happened to those who were constantly on the list. Over time, those students who did 2 hours of extra calisthenics got stronger and stronger. The pain of the circuses built inner strength and physical resiliency. Life is filled with circuses. You will fail. You will likely fail often. It will be painful. It will be discouraging.
You'll
At times,
definitely
it
fail
will test
often.
you to your very core. But if you want to change the world, don't be afraid of the circuses.
Yep.
At least
Don't
twice
be
a
a
week,
sugar
the trainees
cookie.
were required to run the obstacle course.
See, this motivation's good. Don't
The
be a
obstacle
sugar
course contained
cookie,
25 obstacles, including
or
a
get
10-foot
used to
wall,
being a sugar
a
cookie.
30-foot cargo net.
It's okay to
a barbed wire
fail,
crawl,
much
to name a
more,
few.
like,
But
for
the most
real.
challenging obstacle
Keep
was the
listening.
slide for life.
Oh yeah,
A
love this.
3-level, 30-foot tower at one end, and a 1-level tower at the other.
Oh, I
In
did that.
between was a 200-foot-long rope.
Oh, that long
You
rope.
had to climb the 3-tiered tower,
Climb the
and once
three.
at the top, you grabbed the rope,
Grab the rope
swung underneath the rope, and pulled yourself hand over hand
and hand
until
over
you got to the
hand
other end.
with the
The
legs
record
up.
for the obstacle course had stood for years when my class began in 1977.
Most people do that
the
in the
record seemed
military.
unbeatable until one day a student decided to go down the slide for life head first.
He went head first.
Instead of swinging his body underneath the rope
Underneath
and
the
inching his
rope,
way down,
he said, "I'm gonna
he
swing
bravely
over
mounted
it."
the top
He
of the
put
rope
his leg over
and
the
thrust
top.
himself
And,
forward. It was a dangerous move, seemingly foolish and fraught with risk.
like, oh, I
Failure could
missed
be an
it.
injury and being dropped from the course. Without hesitation, The student slid down the rope perilously fast. Instead of several minutes, it only took him half that time. And by the end of the course, he had broken the record. If you want to change the world, sometimes you have to slide down the obstacles head first.
Yep.
During the land warfare phase of training, the students are flown out to San Clemente Island, which lies off the coast of San Diego. The waters off San Clemente are a breeding ground for the great white sharks. To pass SEAL training, there are a series of long swims that must be completed. One is the night swim. Before the swim, the instructors joyfully brief the students on all the species of sharks that inhabit the waters off San Clemente. They assure you, however, that no student has ever been eaten by a shark, at least not that they can remember. But you are also taught that if a shark begins to circle your position, stand your ground. Do not swim away. Do not act afraid. And if the shark, hungry for a midnight snack, darts towards you, then summons up all your strength and punch him in the snout, and he will turn and swim away. There are a lot of sharks in the world. If you hope to complete the swim, you will have to deal with them.
You'll have to deal with them
But
sharks
if you
in
want to
life.
change the world, don't back down from the sharks.
Don't ever back down from the sharks.
As Navy SEALs, one of our jobs is to conduct underwater attacks against enemy shipping. We practice this technique extensively during training. The ship attack mission is where a pair of SEAL divers is dropped off outside an enemy harbor and then swims well over 2 miles underwater, using nothing but a depth gauge and a compass to get to the target. During the entire swim, even well below the surface, there is some light that comes through. It is comforting to know that there is open water above you. But as you approach the ship, which is tied to a pier, the light begins to fade. The steel structure of the ship blocks the moonlight. It blocks the surrounding street lamps. It blocks all ambient light. To be successful in your mission, you have to swim under the ship and find the keel, the center line, and the deepest part of the ship. This is your objective. But the keel is also the darkest part of the ship, where you cannot see your hand in front of your face, where the noise from the ship's machinery is deafening, and where it gets to be easily disoriented, and you can fail. Every SEAL knows that under the keel, at that darkest moment of the mission, is a time when you need to be calm, when you must be calm, when you must be composed, when all your tactical skills, your physical power, and your inner strength must be brought to bear. If you want to change the world, you must be your very best in the darkest moments.
That's right. Be your very best
The
in the
ninth week of
darkest
training
moments.
is referred to as Hell Week.
See, there's a
It
lot
is
of
6
things
days
that
of no
we've
sleep,
talked about,
constant physical and mental
y'all been
harassment,
listening to on here.
and one special day at the Mud Flats. The Mud Flats are an area between San Diego and Tijuana where the water runs off and creates the Tijuana Sloughs, a swampy patch of terrain where the mud will engulf you. It is on Wednesday of Hell Week that you paddle down to the Mud Flats and spend the next 15 hours trying to survive this freezing cold, the howling wind, and the incessant pressure to quit from the instructors. As the sun began to set that Wednesday evening, my training class, having committed some egregious infraction of the rules, was ordered into the mud. The mud consumed each man till there was nothing visible but our heads. The instructors told us we could leave the mud if only 5 men would quit. Only 5 men, just 5 men, and we could get out of the oppressive cold. Looking around the mud flat, it was apparent that some students were about to give up. It was still over 8 hours till the sun came up. 8 more hours of bone-chilling cold. The chattering teeth and the shivering moans of the trainees were so loud, it was hard to hear anything. And then one voice began to echo through the night. One voice raised in song. The song was terribly out of tune,
messing up. Hold on,
but sung with great enthusiasm. One voice became 2, and 2 became 3, and before long, everyone in the class was singing. The instructors threatened us with more time in the mud if we kept up the singing, but the singing persisted. And somehow the mud seemed a little warmer, and the wind a little tamer, and the dawn not so far away. If I have learned anything in my time traveling the world, it is the power of hope. The power of one person, a Washington, a Lincoln, King, Mandela, and even a young girl from Pakistan, Malala. One person can change the world by giving people hope. So if you want to change the world, start singing when you're up to your neck in mud. Finally, in SEAL training, there's a bell. A brass bell that hangs in the center of the compound for all the students to see. All you have to do to quit is ring the bell. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to wake up at 5 o'clock. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to be in the freezing cold swims. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to do the runs, the obstacle course, the PT, and you no longer have to endure the hardships of training. All you have to do is ring the bell to get out. If you want to change the world, don't ever ring the bell. To the class of 2014, you are moments away from graduating. Moments away from beginning your journey through life. Moments away from starting to change the world for the better. It will not be easy, but you are the class of 2014, the class that can affect the lives of 800 million people in the next century. Start each day with a task completed. Find someone to help you through life. Respect everyone. Know that life is not fair and that you will fail often. But if you take some risks, step up when the times are the toughest, face down the bullies, lift up the downtrodden, and never, ever give up. If you do these things, the next generation and the generations that follow will live in a world far better than the one we have today. And what started here will indeed have changed the world for the better. Thank you very much. Hook 'em horns.
Oh, I love that speech. I hope you guys do too. You know, stuff like that really really get you going sometimes. You know, another one is Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey has some great motivational speeches. Very good.
Beat rising inflation with Kohl's Friends and Family
Yeah,
Sale.
not the
Take
Kohl's
20% off online or
thing. No,
25% off
that's how
on
you
top
get
of
rid of
great
that
deals.
copy. Yep.
My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that that was possible for him. And so he made a conservative choice. Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant. And when I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job. And our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. It's not the only thing he taught me, though. You know, I watched the effect of my father's love and humor and how it altered the world around me. And I thought, that's something to do. That's something worth my time. It wasn't long before I started acting up. You know, people would come over to the house and they'd be greeted by a 7-year-old throwing himself down a large flight of stairs. They would say, "What happened?" And I would say, "I don't know. Let's check the replay." I'd go back to the top of the stairs and come back down in slow motion.
So my clippers are not cutting right.
It was a very strange
Clippers are not
household.
cutting right. Don't know what.
My father used to brag
I don't know
that
what's
I wasn't a
going on.
ham, I was the whole pig. And he treated my
Need
talent
a thing
as
to
if
get
it was
this out.
his
Hold
second
on.
chance. When I was about 28, after a decade as a professional comedian, I realized one night in LA that the purpose of my life had always been to free people from concern, just like my dad. And when I realized this, I dubbed my new devotion the Church of Freedom from Concern. The Church of FFC. And I dedicated myself to that ministry. What's yours? How will you serve the world? What do they need that your talent can provide? That's all you have to figure out. As someone who's done what you're about to go and do, I can tell you from experience, the effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. Because everything you gain in life will rot and fall apart, and all that will be left of you is what was in your heart. My choosing to free people My choosing to free people from concern got me to the top of a mountain. Look where I am. Look what I get to do. Everywhere I go. I'm going to get emotional because when I tap into this, it really is extraordinary to me. I did something that made people present their best selves to me wherever I go. I've often said that I wished people could realize all their dreams and wealth and fame, and so that they could see that it's not where you're going to find your sense of completion. Like many of you, I was concerned about going out into the world and doing something bigger than myself. Until someone smarter than myself made me realize that there is nothing bigger than myself. Because life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you.
That's right. Life doesn't
How do
happen
I
to
know
you. It
this?
happens for
I
you.
don't, but I'm
Ladies
making
and gentlemen,
sound, and that's the important thing.
right here,
That's what I'm here to do.
there's like hair stuck in there and it's not cutting right.
Sometimes I think that's the only thing that's important, really. You know? It's just letting each other know we're here. Reminding each other that we're part of a larger self. Your job is not to figure out how it's going to happen for you, but to open the door in your head. And when
I don't know why this is happening.
Life, just walk through it. And don't worry if you miss your cue, because there's always doors opening. They keep opening. And when I say life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, I really don't know if that's true. I'm just making a conscious choice to perceive challenges as something beneficial so that I can deal with them in the most productive way. You'll come up with your own style. That's part of the fun. Oh, and why not take a chance on faith as well? Not religion, but faith. Not hope, but faith. I don't believe in hope. Hope is a beggar. Hope walks through the fire and faith leaps over it. I used to believe that who I was ended at the edge of my skin. That I had been given this little vehicle called a body from which to experience creation. And though I couldn't have asked for a sportier model. It was, after all, a loaner and would have to be returned. Then I learned that everything outside the vehicle was part of me too. And now I drive a convertible. Yeah, man. Top down, wind of my hair. Woo! I am elated and truly excited to be present and fully connected to you at this important moment in your journey. I hope you're ready to open the roof and take it all in. You are the vanguard of knowledge and consciousness, a new wave in a vast ocean of possibilities. On the other side of that door, there's a world starving for new ideas, new leadership. I've been out there for 30 years. She's a wildcat. Oh, she'll rub up against your leg and purr until you pick her up and start petting her, and then out of nowhere, she'll swat you in the face. It can be rough out there, but that's okay, because there's soft serve ice cream with sprinkles. I guess that's what I'm really trying to say here today. Sometimes it's okay to eat your feelings. Now, fear is going to be a player in your life, but you get to decide how much. You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, in the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. I'm saying I'm the proof that you can ask the universe for it. Please. I am at the top of the mountain, and I was, and the only one I hadn't freed was myself, and that's when my search for identity deepened. I wondered who I'd be without my fame. Who would I be if I said things that people didn't want to hear? Or if I defied their expectations of me? And that peace that we're after, lies somewhere beyond personality, beyond the perception of others, beyond invention and disguise, even beyond effort itself. You can join the game, fight the wars, play with form all you want, but to find real peace, you have to let the armor go.
Hey, it's Tony Robbins. Listen, what if there was a way for you to have your own online business from home, and you literally could be up and running in a few...
Your need for acceptance can make you invisible in this world. Don't let anything stand in the way of the light that shines through this form. Risk being seen in all of your glory. My soul is not contained within the limits of my body. My body is contained within the limitlessness of my soul. Now I'm always at the beginning. I have a reset button, and I ride that button constantly. Once that button is functioning in your life, there's no story that the mind can create that will be as compelling. The imagination is always manufacturing scenarios, both good and bad, and the ego tries to keep you trapped in the multiplex of the mind. Our eyes are not viewers, they're also projectors that are running a second story over the picture that we see in front of us all the time. Fear is writing that script, and the working title is, I'll Never Be Enough. I had a substitute teacher from Ireland in the second grade that told my class during morning prayer that when she wants something, anything at all, she prays for it and promises something in return, and she always gets what she wants. Well, I'm sitting in the back of the classroom, thinking, wow, my family can't afford a bike, So I went home and I prayed for her. And I promised I would recite the rosary every night in exchange. Broke that promise. But 2 weeks later, I got home from school to find a brand new Mustang bike with a banana seat and Easy Rider handlebars. Yeah. From fool to cool. My family informed me that I had won the bike in a raffle that a friend of mine had entered my name in without my knowledge whatsoever. So that type of thing has been happening to me ever since. As far as I can tell, it's just about letting the universe know what you want and working toward it while letting go of how it comes to pass. No matter what you gain,
Takes a while to
ego
cut a
will
poodle.
not let you
Man,
rest.
it takes a while to cut a
It
poodle.
will tell you that you cannot stop until you've left an indelible mark on the earth, until you've achieved immortality. How tricky is this ego that it would tempt us with the promise of something we already possess? Relax and dream up a good life.
Got to get ready for the quacker season coming up. The quacker, quack, 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 quack. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, duck season. Duck season's coming. Well, first, dove season. Dove season starts September 1st here, and we get about, I think, like 20-some days of that, and then we get like 14 days of early goose season. And then during goose season, I think we have like four or 5 days of early teal and wood duck. I've never gotten a wood duck, and that's my #1 goal this year, is getting that wood duck. And you retrieving it for me, that would be awesome. That would be like 2 birds, 1 stone, you know what I mean? Who's another great motivational speaker? David Goggins, that's right. Hey, what's going on? Who's that today? Marshall. Hope you're doing good, Marshall. We're cutting Fluffy Poodle's hair this morning, listening to some awesome motivational speeches. The first one was from Admiral. The second one was Jim Carrey. Right now we have David Goggins. We're cutting Mr. Fluffy Poodle in the Continental cut, the standard Poodle Continental cut, the one that you normally see at all the shows, all that, where it's long around. We're doing that, start getting them ready, because duck season and dove season's first in about 30 days, and then duck season's in about, 30 plus 20 is 50, so about 50 days. So we're gonna grow this out so he's good in the water and very comfortable when he's out in the field. Again, he goes everywhere with me. Turkey, duck, deer, bear, elk, you name it, he goes with me. His main number one goal is take care of me, but number two, I mean, let him have fun while he's out there. It's the least we can do. Let's go back to motivation, cutting this poodle. All right.
I put every Navy SEAL on a pedestal.
It's easy to do.
It's easy to do. You read the books about them, you see movies about them, superhuman. But what happens is, once you drop your own limitations, so one thing we do bad in life is we put all these people above you. Never put anybody above you, man. Make it an even playing field. But you can't make it an even playing field if you're not working your fucking ass off. I'm not saying not to respect people. You gotta respect people. But if you're playing tennis, right now there's tennis going on here in Queens. If you're playing tennis and you're playing Roger Federer, even Roger Federer's not here right now, but let's say you're playing Roger, best ever, arguably best ever. But I'm fucking good at tennis. But Roger's the best ever. That's in my fucking head. And we're playing a 5-set match, Grand Slam. Before Roger serves the ball, first serve of the game. First serve. Set 1, game 1, first serve. In your mind, you're thinking, man, that's the best fucking person in the world to serve. This is how I thought about Navy SEALs. So what happens is, 2 sets fly by. Roger fucking smokes you 6-0, 6-0. Or 6-0, 6-1. You're like, wow, man. I can play with this motherfucker. But by the time you realize you can play with Roger Federer, it's too late. So that's what I mean by that. Don't go into any competition of life, physical, mental, emotional, whatever it may be, too late. You gotta try so hard. Know that you worked hard as fuck, to be on the even playing field. So I did that. So once I did that, your eyes open up. So now you don't see Roger Federer as Roger Federer. You see him as a fucking tennis player. So now you're competing on the first serve. So you give yourself a chance to win. So when I went to Navy SEAL training, after my first Hell Week, second Hell Week, third Hell Week, I was like, man, I can compete with these guys. I only compete with them, I'm gonna go another level. Because I started seeing, I put these guys and a lot of people on a pedestal. But it also hurt me. It hurt me too. Because when you put people on a pedestal, you expect people to be at a certain level. So I was living off of, wow, all these mythologies of what a special forces guy is. You get up, you don't sleep, you run on broken legs, it's like, I really fed into all that shit, man. So it actually helped make me who I am. But I started looking around, seeing, man, these are really, a lot of them are normal fucking guys.
Hate that part. Gotta do it though.
But it shouldn't have. My expectations were of myself.
All right.
I was grouping
I got
everybody.
that leg
so
now.
that's where I realized.
You have until I go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
It's really about yourself.
How are you and Fluffy? No, how are you doing today? We're doing good. It's morning time. Let's do some good motivation. It is really muggy here in Kentuckiana, the bluegrass state of Kentucky.
Big CEO, you're now common.
It's very muggy. It's probably about 80 degrees out here. Clean up a little bit right here. Fluffy's doing good. I'm doing okay. Let's see how you look. Is this how they do it at the shows? Like, stay. Oh, but he's not a show dog. We're doing good. We're just having fun, getting this cut knocked out. Did I do this leg? Yeah, I think I did. This is the first time ever doing a continental cut. Heel. Continental cut, I guess I'm just shaving the non-vital areas. Basically, it'll keep him warm when he's in cold water. Also keep him protected. I know you don't like the front feet. All right, let's stand right, Fluffy. Stand right. Hold on. Stay. Stay. All right. I know you don't like your front foot messed with. Stay. You're fine, buddy. I got you, dog. Okay. It was nothing. I thought it was a tick for a second because we do live in the woods. But it's not. Stay. Stay, Fluffy. All right. Got the back leg. Oh, I got to do the other side of that. So how I do the inside of the other leg is just reach in this way. It's much easier instead of just lifting up a leg or trying to go in between. It's just one of those things with a poodle. Everybody always asks me, oh, poodles are so much easier compared to regular dogs because they don't shed. But you got to cut them once a month. You got to groom them on a daily basis. I mean, it's a trade-off. It really is. Poodles are a very, very high maintenance dog. I do not recommend them to an inexperienced service dog handler or somebody who doesn't have experience with the dog. I would recommend a poodle being like somebody's second dog, third dog, stuff like that. Poodles are a major commitment. Man, his balls are hairy. I don't like going all up in there. No, I don't, because I don't want to, look, I don't want to nick his balls. Yep, I said it all right. I don't want to nick the balls. And I'm sure he don't want me to nick the balls. A lot of wrinkles down there. All right, let's do the other side. Stay. Oh, let's get back to that motivational. I mean, we were doing so good with that.
So everybody looks at these guys as uncommon. But once you become one, we're all guys again. 'Cause we're all in the same group of guys. We're all in the same fraternity. So how do you separate yourself from the best? Talk about the repetition in my book a lot.
Yeah.
Gotta get the reps in. So now my conversation is this. I never set out to write.
Helen Hansel was able to win any
So
competition she
David
took part in.
Goggins right
She was known
there.
as the contest queen.
I switched it out. David Goggins is a great motivational speaker. He has some cussing
Here's all
every
you
now
have
and
to
then.
do.
Let's listen
Learn
to this
to
one.
work harder on yourself than you do on your job.
Ooh.
Once I understood that philosophy, it totally changed my life.
Learn to work harder on yourself
work
than on
harder
your job.
yourself than you do on your job.
Ooh, think
If
about
you
that.
work hard on your job, you can make a living, which is fantastic. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune, which is super fantastic. Success is something you attract by becoming an attractive person. Success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person, by becoming an attractive person.
Never be satisfied with yourself. Always know that as you invest the effort and time on you, that's the greatest ability that human beings have above animals. See, a dog can't be anything but a dog. Tree can't be anything but a tree. Human being, you've got unlimited potential. You can put effort on you, and by concentrating on you and developing you, you can transform your life wherever you are right now. So you want to work on yourself.
My dreams are first every day, then my wife, then my kids. I can take care of my wife and my kids now, would you agree? I abandoned this. This is the fuel for who I am. I abandoned this dream, and then I can't take care of them. And then I'm gonna tell them what? It's all right that you didn't win. No, it's not all right if you don't win. You need to win. How many of you need to win more? Okay? If you don't control your environment, folks, somebody else is gonna control your environment. You guys that run teams and run organizations, if you do not control your environment, someone else will control your environment. You are being controlled in your environment right now. If you don't control your environment, it starts with me. When I was 45 years old, I'm like, I'm gonna control my environment. I'm gonna take every penny I have, all the energy I have, all the resources I have, and I'm gonna improve me. If I gotta go broke in the process, because I'm already broke. Look, if you're not fulfilled if you're not reaching your full potential every day, you're broke right now.
If you find your passion, you're gonna have this tremendous energy. It's sustainable energy. But momentum requires you always do the next thing to keep the momentum going.
If you believe in what you're doing, that's fuel. It adds more fuel to your fire. You gotta keep going, you gotta keep pushing through, you gotta keep persevering. Because at the end of the day, when you do, and you do, and you do more, you will be amazed at how the universe conspires to help you get to the place that you wanted to get to. So believe in you, block out the shade, and let your sun shine on through, because it's on you to be you.
And the reason you get yourself in a passionate place is so that you change your life, and the only thing that changes your life is making a decision. So while you're in this passionate state, that's where you make decisions. The only way that commitment and the energy and the momentum continues is if you take immediate, massive what, my friend? Massive action is the cure-all. Massive action is the cure-all.
That's how you develop yourself. That's how you begin to appreciate what you get. When you're working on a dream, at some point in time, a transition takes place. And the transition is what you are becoming in pursuit of the dream. Because even if you don't get the dream, you become such a strong and powerful person. It will so change your life, you can look at something else and say, well, I think I'll go do this then. Because you have now developed yourself in such confidence and such competence in how to deal in the arena of life that you can move into another area and not miss a beat. Once you begin to discover who you are, then you really realize how you have been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth, including all the dimensions of your life. But you can only do that through the struggle of life. And most people avoid the struggle. Most people go through life avoiding pain. And when you go through life like that, something in you dies. Something in you that you never activate is lying dormant in there, that you never get a chance to call on because you have not challenged yourself. Somebody said, the land of familiarity belongs to the dead. That most people like to feel like they're a king in the area of their comfort zone. They only want to do those things that they know how to do well. Osborne said, unless you attempt to do something beyond that which you've already mastered, you will never grow. So if you want to begin to grow, you've got to put something out here that you can't reach easily, that has got to make you stretch, got to make you jump for it, got to make you get back a little bit and dig in so that you can take a leap for it. And maybe you jump up there and you miss it and you skin your knees and you come back again and you bust your lip next time. But you keep on, and through that process, you learn how to leap higher. You start challenging yourself to dig deeper, and then you discover some things about you that you don't know right now. Some talents that you have in you that you didn't know that you can do. If you want to begin to make your stuff happen for you, I think that it's very important that you start trusting yourself. Listen to yourself. Listen to that still small voice within you. Don't try and make everything logical. There's some things about life that defies logic, that you just can't explain how the outcome is going to be. I think that's why Paul said you've got to learn how to walk by faith and not by sight. That once you begin to trust yourself and your ideas and your instincts, life takes on a whole new meaning, because now I want you to do that feeling that you are led. Just feel, I am led. Ladies and gentlemen, don't give your power away. You don't need anybody to approve your dream. It was given to you. If they can't see it, it's because it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. Hold it, nourish it, cultivate it, work on it. It's yours. It's your baby. Work on it until it comes into fruition. I gave away my power, and I said, I'm not going to do that no more. Here's something else for those who make it today. Do what you know is right. Treat people like you want to be treated. Don't try and take any shortcuts. Don't try and cheat. Pay your dues up front. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, what goes around comes around. You can pay now, or you will pay double later. So do the right thing. There might be a tendency sometimes, because of the negative part of our consciousness and our own programming, for us to want to say, well, I'll just do it this time. It won't matter. Won't nobody know. Ladies and gentlemen, everything matters. And you know you're somebody. You know. I'd rather lose out on my dream doing the right thing than to cheat trying to make a shortcut to get to my goal. I want to be able to look myself in the mirror. And that's what you want to do. There's no saying, judge a man not by what he does, but by that he doesn't have to do. And judge the true quality of a man is what he'll do when nobody's looking. See, there's some good out there for you in the universe that has your name on it. And nobody can get your good. It has your name on it.
I like this today.
They can't take your stuff. It's your stuff. So when you know that, when you know that whatever you're seeking, it's also seeking you, you don't worry. You don't run scared. You don't think somebody's going to take it from you. You listen to your inner voice, and you always take the high road. There will be the tendency, the natural inclination to take the low road. You must resist that. Repeat after me, please. I will always take the high road. And do the right thing.
And do the right thing.
No matter what.
No matter what.
Not hasty if it isn't required, but don't lose
Some
much
of y'all
time. Here's the time
won't
to
say
act.
it because
when
you
the
can't.
idea is hot and the emotion is
you don't
strong.
believe
That's
in it
the
yet.
time to act. See, Mr. Ron, I'd like to have a library like yours. See if you feel strong about that. What you got to do is get the first book and then get the second book. Before the feeling passes and before the idea gets dim, action pronto, action immediate, action as soon as possible. Because if you don't, here's what happens. We call it the law of diminishing intent. We intend to when the idea strikes us. We intend to when the emotion is high. But now if you don't translate that into action fairly soon, now the intent starts to diminish. And a month from now, it's cold. A year from now, can't be found. So act. Set up a discipline.
Many people are not aware they carry divine power within them. Some things you're going to go through, you can overcome by unleashing the miraculous power lying dormant within you. And it just takes a simple shift, you see. There's an ancient Egyptian idea that the all is mind. The mind is all, meaning your mind is limitless. It can be shaped into whatever you desire. Let's say you have a goal of losing weight or getting rid of some credit card debt. All it takes is a simple shift in your mind for you to be able to effortlessly and easily do this. The challenge is that simple shift isn't really known by many and not really taught. What I'd like to share with you is this hidden knowledge and give you 5 days of training completely for free. But first, let me introduce
I don't want to hear no
Hi, my name is Chris Duncan.
When the emotions are high,
There we
the
go.
idea is strong and clear.
How's it looking,
powerful.
ladies and gentlemen? Is it looking good? We got half the
Time
face
to
done,
set up
half
the
the face we still got to work on.
Somebody talks about good health and you're stirred.
Let's see
Right.
that.
You need to get a book on nutrition. Get the book
gotta
before
work right
the
here.
idea
Stay.
passes and before the emotion gets cold. Go for the book. Start the library. Start
Stay.
the
I know.
Fall
Stay.
on the floor.
Stay.
Do some push-ups. Action.
Good boy. Good
Gotta
boy.
take action. Otherwise, the wisdom is wasted. Otherwise, the emotion soon passes. Unless you put it into a disciplined activity. Capture it.
Alright,
Discipline
that side's done.
involves how to capture the emotion and how to capture the wisdom and translate it into equity. Disciplines. Now, here's what's important about disciplines. All disciplines affect each other. In fact, here's a good philosophical phrase. Everything affects everything else. Nothing stands alone. Don't be naive in saying, well, this doesn't matter. I'm telling you, everything matters. There are some things that matter more than others, but there isn't anything that doesn't matter. Key to take home. Every letdown affects the rest of your performance. Every letdown affects the rest. This is part of the educational process on personal development. If you don't take the walk around the block, you probably won't do the apple a day. If you don't do the apple a day, you probably won't start building your library. If you don't build your library, you probably won't keep a journal, and you won't take pictures, and then you won't do this, you won't do wise things with your money, you won't do wise things with your time, won't do wise things with your possibilities and relationships, and the first thing you know, 6 years of that accumulated, and we say you have messed up. So the whole key to reversing that process now is to start picking up these disciplines. Now here's the positive side. Every new
Battery just went out. Let's go get the other
rest
one.
of your disciplines. Every new one affects the rest. That's why action is so important. The least action, the smallest action. Take it. Because when you start accomplishing and the value starts to return from that one action, it'll inspire you to do the next one and the next one and the next one. You start walking around the block, it'll inspire you to get an apple. Get an apple, it'll inspire you to get a book. Get a book, it'll inspire you to get a journal. Get a journal, it'll inspire you to grow, develop some skills. All disciplines affect each other. Every lack affects the rest. Every new affects the rest. The key is to diminish the lack and set up the new. And you've started a whole new life process. Also, one more thought on discipline. Here's the greatest value of discipline. Self-worth, self-esteem. People are teaching self-esteem these days, but they don't connect it to discipline. The least lack of discipline, and it starts to erode our psyche. One of the greatest temptations is to just ease up a little bit. The slightest lack of doing your best starts to erode the psyche. Instead of doing your best, doing just a little less than your best. Sure enough, you say, well, it's just going to affect my sales. No, it's going to affect your consciousness. It's going to affect your philosophy. Now you've begun in the slightest way to affect your own philosophy. Here's the problem with the least neglect. Neglect starts as an infection. And if you don't take care of it, it becomes a disease.
Hold on.
And one neglect leads to another. And the worst of all, when neglect starts, it diminishes our self-worth, our self-confidence, our self-value. You say, well, how can I get back my self-respect? I'm telling you, you don't have to go to 29 classes. All you have to do is start the smallest discipline that now corresponds to your own philosophy, like I should, and I could, and I will. No longer will I let neglect stack up on me so that I will have the sorry scenario 6 years from now, giving some excuse instead of celebrating my progress. That's the key to discipline. Okay? Let's get kids involved in the least of disciplines. One more, and then one more, and then another one, and then another one, and then some more. And the first thing you know, you're starting to weave the tapestry of a disciplined life into which you can pour more wisdom and more attitude and more strong feeling, more faith and more courage. Now you've got something, a vessel in which to put it. And now the equities start to flow. And the early return, I'm telling you, if you'll start this process, the early return will have you so excited. You'll commit yourself to this strategy for the rest of your life. You'll never go back to the old ways. Join a new crowd. Join a new group. The disciplines to do. Take action. I recommended the last time I was here, the little book, Richest Man in Babylon, and I said I've lectured now to over 3 million people in the last 33 years, and I've recommended this little book to almost all of them, I think. Guess how many have actually gone and got this little book? Answer, very few. My best guess is 10%. Such an easy thing to do. In that last seminar, right, I suggested this little book, number one, is easy to find. Number two, it's easy to buy. The most you can pay for it, $6, $7, $8. You can borrow that from your kids.
Stay. Oh, you're going to be a butthole. I just need to get one little
And number
spot.
3, it's easy to read. It's in story form. That's why I use it for teenagers, teaching them how to be rich by 40, 35 if you're extra bright, much sooner if you find a unique opportunity. But if it's easy to find and easy to buy, and if it's easy to read, why wouldn't everybody go get it? We don't know. What do you know? You don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. Here's how profound it is. Some do and some don't. Now here's the numbers. About 10% do. 90% don't. Or
Hey, the note's
won't.
very, very sensitive.
We don't know the mystery of that. And I'm telling you, 10 years from now, those numbers will still be the same. 10% will, 90% won't. The numbers don't change. Only the faces change. You're looking at one of the faces. I used to belong to the 90% who couldn't be bothered even if it was easy.
Yeah, I didn't get him. Just pulled a hair. Was making sure I was going over his eye, but he's good. Good. Yep. Alright, I think it's looking good. I gotta do the feet, which I don't want to do the feet. I think I'll take them in to do the feet. Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up. I stand. Let's double check. Face is good. Body's looking good. That's definitely not even. So about this much in front of the... All right, let's even that up real quick. Then stay. 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 There you go. Stay. All right, last but not least, after you groom your pet, is you got to brush them too, okay? Even though we already brushed. I know you don't like this one. I don't like it either. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. If you're not having an amazing day, I hope that I hope that we can brighten your day just a little bit by watching this. I hope that, you go outside and enjoy something wonderful the world has to offer. For example, pass by a flower and give it a little smell. You're somewhere, tell them thank you. You go somewhere today, just person behind the counter, give them that extra thank you. Tell them that they did a good job. Go outside, look at the clouds. Look at the blue sky. Look at the green grass, the sand. Wherever you are at, just enjoy it. The biggest blessing that each and every one of you had or have is the fact that you woke up this morning. A lot of you, it's hard to grasp that concept because we have so much going on with our life that we're just focusing on all the other things and not the fact of you woke up, and that's the biggest blessing. Everything else is extra in life. You didn't have to wake up. The great Lord up above or whatever you believe in could have said, "No, today's your day." So what I'm trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is you really need to be grateful that you're here and alive today. Enjoy the world. Enjoy your life. You really only have one. But keep in mind that there's no manual to life as well. Because otherwise everybody would have the perfect life. That's right. There's no manual. There's no right or wrong way to live your life. There's not. Just do the best of your ability with your circumstances. And you can't compare your circumstances to anybody else because you really don't know what they've been through that day, that year, that month, that anything. You really don't know. So with that being said, do the best of your ability with your circumstances. And if you did good that day, repeat it. Seriously, repeat that. Do it again the next day, okay? And if you didn't do good that day, that's fine. If you didn't do good that day, that's fine. It's okay if you didn't do good. Wake up the next day and try again. It's okay if you fail. It's okay to be that sugar cookie. It's okay to be that one that you're still learning and you're gonna grow and become something amazing and spectacular. I'm not saying that you're not already, but we all know that each and every one of us can always become we always can become better and better. Mr. Fluffy, you doing good? I know I'm not the best comb brusher, whatever you want to call it. I don't have long hair. I'm sure that's why he pulls away from me every now and then. To be honest, he's never liked his front legs messed with or anything. But you see, he's not like screaming, whining. He's not anything. Come here. I can easily go pick him up. See, not holding, not anything. When I start brushing, though, he doesn't like it. He just deals with it because he knows it has to be done. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Well, we definitely cut all of... Definitely got a bunch of hair right here we cut off. Check all that out. And we put it in the yard. That's what we do. Because... Boo, fly away. We live in the country, okay? We live in the country. All right, all right, all right. Fluffy, let's see. Big comb can go straight through. That's how it always should be. Fluffy, you're looking good. Maybe we should have gone skin on this, but it's okay. No, we're not going to go skin on that. We're actually going to keep it that length, so give him a little bit of protection when we're out in the water. Fluffy, sit. Good boy. Oh, you gonna look down? All right, Fluffy. Looking good, looking good. Stand. Let's show him, let's show him. Sit, sit right there. Sit, right there. Outstanding. Show the camera. This is how we do it. Say, right here. You looking good? We just didn't do those ears. Didn't do the ears. I told you I'm not the best comb brusher. I know the groomers and all the ladies who are watching this, or anybody who has long hair watching this, Male, female, anything like that, right? They're like, man, you're a horrible brusher. This is why he does so much better. Somebody else does it. He does good. You guys see, he just takes it. Takes it like a champ. Stay. All right, Fluffy. Let's show him real quick. Good. You look so beautiful, Fluffy. That's right. That's right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are finished. We are finished, and that's a wrap. Come here, Fluffy. You got to sit back down right there. Sit. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys had a good time. I know myself, Mr. Fluffy Poodle sure did. That's right, Mr. Fluffy Bear and his blue hair. Hey, we just cut it. We cut it off. That's right. We cut it off today. We sure did. Got him that continental cut, his first ever continental cut. Until next time, you guys know who this is. This is Daniel the Big O with the Fluffy Poodle. That's right, Mr. Fluffy Bear and his blue hair. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye. High five. Sit. Give me a high five. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye. Shake it like a salt shaker, shake it like a salt shaker, shake it like a salt shaker. Fluffy, break. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye. Woo, it's so hot. It's so hot. Bye-bye.